So there have been some new developments at the Space Center. Some good news and some bad news. The good news is that the Congress has increased our funding to unlimited funds, which is great. The bad news is that they've done this because we've detected an asteroid on a direct collision course with Kerbin, and nobody decided to take the time to learn how to do an asteroid redirect mission. Also, there's a possibility that it's a magic boulder, and those are an endangered species, and we're not allowed to move them. So, Instead, the Congress, commissioned some of the space companies to put forward a design of a habitat that we could launch into deep space out to Lathe or something and save the Kerbal race. So they came up with this. A 100,000 kilogram behemoth that was only tested once and failed during that test. It is our only hope. Also, we are only allowed to use simple engines, so that's like skippers and stuff like that, because that's what we've been using to launch our satellites. And if we all of a sudden order like 300 Kerbageddon engines, people will be suspicious. And if we restart the Nerva program, the hippies will they'll be so mad. I mean, I wish we could tell them about the asteroid that's going to destroy the Earth so that, they could all buy Hummers and enjoy accelerating very slowly in a badly air-conditioned car, but, sucks for them. They're going to be here and die. They're not among the 72 Kerbals and the 3 crew that are going to survive this cataclysm. So, what the Kerbal Space Program has been tasked with doing is building a drive section that can push this out to Lathe and a launch vehicle capable of getting into low Kerbin orbit. I'm sure that won't be hard at all. So there was a slight hiccup when we were designing it. Word got out that, there was an impending asteroid coming in, and that the, habitat would be filled with billionaires and people that were apparently genetically perfect or something. So, once the engineers heard that they weren't going to get to go on this rocket, they all jumped ship, and they've been shooting themselves into space strapped to solid rocket boosters. It hasn't been going well. The public is suspicious, though it's okay. We still have the one engineer that's going to be, part of the crew on this mission, in addition to a scientist and a pilot. So he's going to design the rest of the thing, or she. We don't know who it is. Let's just see who we've got available. Hansel Kerman. Okay. I'm sure Hansel will do great at designing the rest of the rocket single-handedly. Okay, so there was a bit of a falling out with Hansel. He started getting very existential and asking if he could say goodbye to his family, and why did we curse him with being the only one of his friends and colleagues to be the one to survive alone in the void, and all that bullshit. So we said, that he had a job to do and he had to build a rocket, and he didn't come into work, and we haven't seen him in several days, so we assume that he's run off into the wilderness, as he often fantasized about when he's stressed, seeing as this is the last thing he's going to get to do. But it's okay. As you can see, the rocket is done. We submitted a challenge to some local elementary schools to draw your own rocket, and this is what they came up with. Once again, we, for some reason, only were allowed to use skipper engines, because, apparently ordering this many for one rocket isn't suspicious. But I don't know how politics works in the Kerbal Space Program universe, so it's just the way it is. This rocket has 0 aerodynamic capability, but I'm sure it will be fine. Besides, the asteroid's going to hit in roughly 8 minutes, so we've really got to get a move on and, get out of here. So, I mean, it's a very... I don't know why Hansel and the rest of the design team, for that matter, had to go away. I'm also not sure why the screen is black. But, oh, look who it is. It's Hansel. Yeah. Look what you got. You could have sat on top of a rocket that was designed by somebody other than a 3rd grader with too many Sharpies. But you know, I'm sure this will be fine. So you know, we're just gonna light this candle. It's a real beaut, isn't she? Don't worry, that's that'll give us a little extra thrust. Why are we tipping? Okay. This is not at all. See, Hansel, this is you know what, Hansel, you're fired. I'm just gonna say it. Yeah, how do you feel now? You just killed 72 of Kerbin's richest people. Look at this. Actually, no. Looks like the rich people survived. So Hansel, you're fired. I'm sorry. Okay, so apparently the last rocket blowing up was one of the largest non-nuclear explosions in Kerbal history. So our cover was blown. People started asking questions. Hansel, you know, we decided that we would just let him go, and we thought he would do the right thing. But he blabbed his little blabbermouth right away. So now everybody knows about the giant meteor, and everyone wants to get on the rocket. So we've been saying that we're going to do it by lottery, but the rich people who funded this spaceship, they wouldn't have that. So they're still all on the rocket. But you know, the other, don't tell anyone, please, because we can't afford to keep building these things, really. You know, cut us a break. Hansel was honestly probably not the best choice for this, but I mean, look, it was his first real assignment. We wanted to give him a chance to spread his wings, especially that this would be his only chance to spread his wings, and he screwed it up. You know, that's what you get for trusting Hansel. So you know, I hope he's happy, and I hope you're happy for him. Let me tell you, the local elementary schoolers really burned the midnight oil on getting this design done. I mean, just look at this rocket. It's a piece of art, really. I couldn't have done it better myself. So yeah, we're just gonna pray that this one works. Okay, release those fairings. All right, getting a little bulge there. You know, the elementary schoolers don't quite know about struts yet, but you know, like, this will not be a learning experience for them because, you know, they're all going to die. But I mean, you know, a little engine bulge never killed anybody, probably. And you know, this is good. We're getting out of here. And oh god, we forgot the billionaires. There's only 3 people on this rocket. The billionaires are all still down on the ground. Oh geez. Well, they're all dudes, and they're all astronauts. And let me tell you, these guys are not in great shape from facing the existential nightmare. Let's just check it. So, see, those aren't some too bad aerodynamic forces. That's not a whole lot of drag. But yeah, these guys, they're not in great shape from, you know, facing the dread of soon being the only Kerbals alive. And even, like, without the company of the billionaires, I'm gonna be honest, I'm not super sure of how they're gonna fare. But at least they've got some big fairings, right? Right? I mean, you know, we might be facing global Armageddon, but at least we have puns, right? So yeah, we're trying to do a gravity turn, but it's not really coming. It's not really happening, given that this spacecraft has very little in the way of control surfaces. In fact, it has literally no control surfaces. But we're gonna press on. This is not the worst launch that I've ever performed. It's taking off. That's, you know, I mean, that's better than like a third of launches in KSP. So, but now we're gonna have to stage And in doing so, that means jettisoning the fairing. So we're just going to cut the engines real quick. That's not good. It stopped. That's not good at all. That means stuff's going to blow up. It's been stopped for a while. Does that mean the whole thing blew up? Oh no. Oh, the calamity. Oh jeez. What's left? Just the command pod. Okay, well. Let's just, oh, we have no control, apparently. Oh, we do have control. So, I mean, what's labeled as the ship? Oh, these are the ships? I mean, I'm sure the billionaires are glad they're not on board now. Though, we don't have time to build another one of these. The meteor is like it's right there. That's not actually the sun. That's the meteor. It's in the upper atmosphere. So you know, the Kerbal race is doomed. Oh shit.